Number 1. The short-faced bear, Arctodus simus. North America, late Ice Age. Across cold plains from Alaska to the western caves of the continent, one bear stood above almost every hunter around it. Arctodus simus, the giant short-faced bear, was not just a larger grizzly. Its long legs, high shoulders, and short muzzle gave it a strange, racing shape made for open country. Fossils show it lived through the Pleistocene, when mammoths, ancient horses, bison, and camels moved across wide grasslands. Some adults may have reached nearly a ton, and when this bear rose upright, it could look taller than a small room. Yet its story is not simply monster bear. Scientists now see it as an animal that could hunt, scavenge, and search far for food across huge territories. That made it terrifying in a quiet way. Imagine a frozen valley at dawn, the snow hard as stone, and a carcass lying near the wind. Wolves gather first, then the plain goes still. A tall shape appears on the horizon, walking fast, head low, legs covering ground like a runner. The smaller hunters know what has arrived, and the meal is no longer theirs. By about 12,800 years ago, this giant was gone, along with many Ice Age animals it depended on. Climate changed, open lands shrank, and the old food web broke apart. Today, only bones remain, but they tell of a bear so large that even the fiercest modern predator would have looked small beside it, a shadow from the cold edge of America. Number 2. The cave lion, Panthera spelaea. Europe, Siberia, and Alaska, late Pleistocene. The cave lion moved through a world of open steppe, deep cold, and herds that seemed endless. Despite its name, it did not truly belong to caves. People found many of its bones there, and Ice Age artists painted its shape on stone, but the animal itself ruled the windy grasslands outside. Panthera spelaea was larger and more strongly built than the lions alive today. Its range stretched across northern Eurasia and into Beringia, the frozen land region that once linked Asia and North America. It followed horses, reindeer, bison, musk ox, and sometimes young or weak members of even larger herds. In that world, size was survival. Imagine a winter evening 30,000 years ago. Reindeer bunched together while snow slides over their backs. From a low ridge, pale cats watch without roaring. Cave paintings often show these lions without the big mane of modern males, giving them a lean, ghostly look. Whether they hunted alone, in pairs, or in small groups, the herds knew their patience. Then the great steppe began to change. Around 14,000 years ago, the cave lion vanished from the record as climate shifted and many large prey animals declined. What remains are bones, frozen cubs, and paintings made by people who saw them with living eyes. Those old images still feel like warnings from a colder earth, when the night itself had claws and golden eyes. Number 3. Haast's eagle, Hieroides murray. New Zealand's South Island. The forests and open valleys had no wolves, bears, or big cats. For millions of years, birds filled many of those roles. Giant moas browsed through the trees, some standing taller than a person. Above them circled the island's true hunter, Haast's eagle, the heaviest eagle science has ever described. Its first bones were named in the 1870s. but later DNA work made the story stranger. This giant was related to much smaller eagles, yet island life turned it into a sky predator weighing around 10 to 15 kilograms, with a wingspan up to about 3 meters. Its feet and claws were enormous, built to strike, hold, and crush thick bone through feathers and skin. Picture a moa stepping into a clearing, head lowered to feed. The forest stays calm. Then the shadow comes. Haast's eagle likely dropped fast from above or from the forest edge, hitting the moa's body with shocking force. Fossil moa bones with deep damage help tell the tale. This was not a gentle scavenger waiting for scraps. It was the ruler of the hunt. When Polynesian settlers arrived in the 13th century, moas disappeared quickly under hunting and habitat change. Without its giant prey, the eagle had little future. Its silence is one of New Zealand's great Ice Age endings. A bird powerful enough to make the ground animals look up, and then gone when the old world of moas fell quiet forever there too. Number 4. The cave hyena, Crocuta spelaea. Europe, late Ice Age. Long before hyenas became animals, most people linked with Africa. Their Ice Age relatives moved through cold grasslands, river valleys, and cave country from Spain to Siberia. The cave hyena, Crocuta spelaea, was close to the spotted hyena, but heavier, tougher, and built for a harsher world of snow, stone, and giants. Its history is written in bone rooms. In 1821, William Buckland studied Kirkdale Cave in England and argued that the strange piles of bones had been dragged there by hyenas, not washed in by a great flood. That idea helped change how people read fossils. A cave was not just a hole in the earth anymore. It could be a frozen crime scene from deep time. Inside those dens, the clues are so simple and powerful: cracked horse bones, rhino bones, mammoth bones, teeth marks, and pale fossil droppings full of crushed bone. These hyenas did not waste much. They carried pieces of prey into the dark, fed their clans near the den, and used jaws strong enough to open what many other hunters had to leave behind in the hard winter. By the end of the Pleistocene, the cold steppe world that fed them began to vanish. Forests spread, prey changed, and humans moved deeper into the same caves and valleys. The cave hyena disappeared, but its dens remained like locked diaries. Number 5. The scimitar-toothed cat, Homotherium. Texas, Alaska, Eurasia. Homotherium was not the classic saber-toothed people imagine. Its canine teeth were shorter, flatter, and serrated like curved knives, which is why it is often called the scimitar-toothed cat. It had long front legs, a sloping back, and a body shaped for covering ground, not just bursting from hiding across ice. One of its most famous chapters comes from Friesenhahn Cave in Bexar County, Texas. In the mid-1900s, fossils there revealed Homotherium alongside many young mammoth bones. That discovery made scientists wonder if these cats hunted juvenile mammoths, perhaps by working together and choosing the most vulnerable animals on the open plains under a white sky. Imagine a mammoth calf staying close to the big herd while dust and cold wind move across the grass. The cats do not rush at first. They follow, wait, and test the edges. Homotherium's strength was not only in teeth, it was in timing and patience. Its long limbs helped it keep moving, while its blade-like canines were made for a quick, careful bite once prey was held. New studies have shown its diet was broader than one simple legend. It could take open country grazers and other large Ice Age prey too. By the end of the Pleistocene, Homotherium was gone, leaving teeth, bones, and even rare frozen remains behind. Proof that some Ice Age cats were not shadows in the forest. They were hunters of the wide, cold world. Number 6. The dire wolf, Enochion. Late Ice Age. The dire wolf was not a fantasy animal. It was real, broad-headed, heavy-jawed, and built for hard work. Thousands of its bones have come from the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, where trapped plant eaters drew in hungry hunters, and hungry hunters became fossils too. For many years, scientists called it Canis dirus, but recent DNA work moved it into its own genus, Enochion. That means it was not simply a gray wolf with a scarier name. Its line had been separate for millions of years, yet it still hunted the same cold plains, where horses, camels, bison, and ground sloths left tracks in mud and ash. Picture dusk over an open valley. A tired bison calf lags behind the herd. One wolf appears, then another, then the line of dark shapes widens. Dire wolves were not giant monsters, but they were stocky, social, and patient. Their power came from the pack, from steady pressure, and from jaws made to hold when the chase turned rough. Near the end of the Pleistocene, many large prey animals disappeared, and the dire wolf followed them into silence. By about 10,000 years ago, its long run was over. Today, its skulls stare from museum walls like a warning. Sometimes the most dangerous predator is not the biggest one, but the one that never comes alone in the winter dark, while the whole plain listens and nothing dares answer back. Even bones can feel loud after a story like that too. Number 7. The American lion, Panthera atrox. North America, late Pleistocene, on the open grasslands where Los Angeles now glows with traffic. A cat larger than any modern lion once moved through the dusk. Panthera atrox, the American lion, left around 80 individuals at La Brea, enough for scientists to study its body in detail, and the picture is startling. Male American lions were about 25% larger than African lions, with longer, stronger legs and a frame made for wide country. Their teeth do not show the heavy, bone-crushing wear of hyenas. Instead, chemical clues from enamel point toward meat, from horses, bison, camels, and other big grazers that cross the Ice Age plains in herds. Imagine a band of ancient horses moving through dry grass after a cold rain. The wind shifts, a pale shape lowers behind a rise. No roar is needed. The lion waits, picks one animal from the moving crowd, then surges forward with a weight that makes the earth seem to jump. This was speed, strength, and silence together. By about 11,000 years ago, the American lion had vanished, along with many animals that fed its world. Whether it lived alone or in small groups remains uncertain, and even its mane is still debated. That mystery makes it feel more haunting One of Earth's greatest cats walked here, then left only bones under asphalt and a name that still sounds like fear. When the tar hardened, the legend stayed awake beneath the sleeping city forever. Number 8. The saber-toothed cat, Smilodon populator. South America, last ice age. In the grasslands of Argentina, Brazil, and Patagonia, the largest saber-toothed cat known to science carried its weight like a living trap. Smilodon populator was not built like a cheetah. It was built like a wrestler with heavy shoulders, powerful front legs, and curved upper canines that could reach nearly a foot. Its family reached South America after the land bridge of Panama connected two worlds during the Great American Biotic Interchange. By the late Pleistocene, this cat hunted across open landscapes where giant ground sloths, macrauchenia, horses, and other strange plant eaters moved under cold skies. Fossils and chemical studies show it took large prey, not small meals. Picture a dark pampas morning between 25,000 and 10,000 years ago. A giant sloth feeds near low shrubs, slow but strong, wrapped in a body few predators would test. Then the grass bends. Smilodon does not need a long chase. It closes the last distance, throws its weight forward, and uses its forelimbs to hold, because those famous teeth worked best when the prey was pinned. When the Holocene brought warmer, wetter changes, the old open world faded. The great herbivores declined, and Smilodon populator vanished near the Pleistocene-Holocene boundary. What remains is a cat too powerful to fit modern imagination, a hunter from the south whose silence still feels heavy. Number 9. The American cheetah, Myricynonyx. North America, Pleistocene age. Long before highways crossed the west, a cheetah-like cat moved through high plains, basins, and mountain country. Myricynonyx is often called the American cheetah, but the name can mislead. It was not a true African cheetah. It was closer to the puma line, shaped by a different land and a colder story. Nearly complete skeletons from Natural Trap Cave in Wyoming helped scientists see that this animal had long limbs and a light running build, yet its exact hunting style is still debated. Some studies support a link with pronghorn as prey, but not as its only target. Horses, sheep, and open country animals shared the same cold stage. Imagine a pronghorn lifting its head on a windy ridge. It is fast enough to outrun almost everything alive today, and that strange speed may remember old enemies. A low cat appears over stone and sage. It does not look bulky like a lion or heavy like a saber-tooth. It looks tuned for distance, balance, and a sudden rush across broken ground. By around 16,000 years ago, Myricynonyx was gone, while the pronghorn remained, still racing across North America with speed that seems too much for the modern world. That is the ghost this cat left behind. You do not need to see it to feel it. Just watch a pronghorn run, and it looks as if something ancient is still chasing from behind. That old race never fully ended across the wide open plains. Number 10. The giant short-faced hyena, Pachycrocuta brevirostris. Eurasia, early to middle Pleistocene, before modern spotted hyenas claimed the famous bone-cracking crown. Pachycracuta brevirostris carried that power to an even greater size. It was the giant short-faced hyena, a heavy animal with a strong skull, massive premolars, and a body built more for force than speed. Its fossils are known from Europe and Asia, including famous ancient landscapes such as Venta Micina in Spain, Zhoukoudian near Beijing, and sites in France and China. Scientists see it as one of the greatest scavenging specialists ever, but scavenger does not mean harmless. It could arrive at a carcass and make other hunters move away. Picture a cold morning 2 million years ago. A big cat has left half a horse in the grass. Vultures circle. Then the hyena comes in, low-backed and broad, carrying confidence in every step. It grips a limb bone, cracks it open, and reaches the rich marrow inside. What other predators left behind, Pachycracuta turned into a feast. This made it part of the same harsh world early humans had to cross. A cave or carcass was never truly empty if a giant hyena could find it. Eventually, climates shifted, animal communities changed, and this huge bone breaker disappeared. Number 11. The subantarctic bear, Arctotherium tarigense. Patagonia, late Ice Age. Along the windy plains near the edge of ancient glaciers, a powerful bear crossed a land that looked almost endless. Arctotherium tarigense, often called the subantarctic bear, belonged to the short-faced bear group that entered South America after the Isthmus of Panama joined the continents about 3 million years ago. By the late Pleistocene, this bear had become one of the southernmost great carnivores on Earth. Fossils from Argentina and nearby regions show an animal smaller than the giant Arctotherium of earlier ages, yet still impressive, likely weighing as much as a very large modern bear. It lived among horses, camelids, giant ground sloths, and saber-toothed cats. Picture a gray morning on the Patagonian steppe. Frost clings to the grass, and the wind moves in long waves. A dead herbivore lies near a stream bank. Foxes wait at a distance. Then the bear arrives, broad-shouldered and calm, able to scavenge, defend a carcass, or search widely for roots, meat, and whatever the hard land could offer. That may be the real power of this bear. Not only strength, but survival in a difficult world. As the Ice Age ended and the old animal communities changed, Arctotherium tarigense disappeared with them. Yet its fossils still speak of a cold southern frontier where even the emptiest horizon could suddenly hold the shape of a bear coming through the wind. Number 12. The Patagonian panther. Southern South America, late Pleistocene. Far below the tropical forest usually linked with jaguars, a larger and tougher cat moved through cold grasslands and rocky shelters. Panthera onca mesembrina, the Patagonian panther, was a giant Ice Age jaguar, built for a world of freezing nights, open country, and prey far larger than most modern jaguars face. Its remains are known from Argentina and Chile, including the famous cave region around Cueva del Milodon. This cat was more robust than living jaguars and may have weighed well over 300 pounds, with some estimates going higher. It lived beside giant ground sloths, horses, llamas, and other southern Ice Age animals that made Patagonia feel wild beyond measure. Imagine twilight near a cave mouth as cold air slips over the plain. A mylodon, one of the great ground sloths, feeds slowly among shrubs. The cat waits in silence, using rock and shadow instead of speed. When it moves with force. Like living jaguars, it likely relied on crushing bite power, but on a scale fit for larger prey. Then the world changed. Around the end of the Pleistocene, big prey declined, climate shifted, and this southern jaguar vanished from the fossil record. What remains is a haunting idea, a jaguar large enough to rule Patagonia, walking where snow and wind met the steppe. Number 13. The Giant Ice Age Wild Dog. Eurasia, Ice Age steppe, before the modern African wild dog became known for teamwork and endurance. An older relative crossed the cold plains of Europe and Asia. Lycaeon-lycaonoids, often called xenocaion, was a large, long-legged canid built for pursuit. It lived in a world where survival often depended on staying with the pack and never losing the trail. Fossils place it across a wide range, from Western Europe to Eastern Asia, and scientists see it as a close relative of the African wild dog, though larger and sturdier. Its teeth show a strongly meat-based diet. That suggests not a timid scavenger, but a determined hunter of open country, following herds of horses, deer, and bison across frozen ground. Picture a snowy plain under a pale sky. A band of horses breaks into a run, breath smoking in the air. Behind them comes the pack, not in a wild rush, but in rhythm. One dog presses from the side, another falls back, another keeps the line steady. Their strength is not in one great bite. It is in numbers, stamina, and timing. That teamwork made this animal one of the true professionals of the Ice Age hunt. But as climate shifted and prey communities changed, Lycaeon-lycaonoids disappeared. It left behind no roar, no famous legend, only bones and a lesson written in them. Number 14. The Ice Age leopard, Panthera pardus spelaea. Ice Age Europe, in the same caves that later gave up lion bones, hyena dens, and human tools, another great cat once passed through in silence. Panthera pardus spelaea, the Ice Age leopard, was a cold-adapted form of leopard that lived across parts of Europe during the Pleistocene, when cliffs, valleys, and rocky slopes were often locked in bitter weather. Leopard fossils from Germany, France, and other regions show an animal generally larger and more powerfully built than many leopards alive today. It did not belong to warm jungle stories. It belonged to mountain ledges, cave country, and hard landscapes, where ibex, deer, and other nimble prey had to climb, leap, and survive against snow, stone, and hunger. Imagine a narrow limestone ridge above a frozen valley. Below, a herd shifts carefully over broken rock. The leopard waits above them, invisible against the stone. It does not need the weight of a lion or the pack of a wolf. It needs one perfect moment. Then it drops, fast and precise, turning a cliff path into a trap no hoof can escape. By the close of the Ice Age, this form of leopard vanished from Europe as habitats changed and prey patterns shifted. Still, it remains one of the most striking reminders that even leopards once belonged to colder worlds. In the mind, it still stands on that high ledge, looking down through snow, calm and completely certain of the hunt. Number 15. The running hyena, Chasmoporthetes. Long before modern hyenas became famous for crushing bone, another member of their family took a very different path. Chasmoporthetes, the running hyena, spread across Eurasia and even into North America. Its body was lighter, its legs were longer, and its life was built around pursuit. It looked less like a bulky scavenger and more like a hunter made for distance. Scientists have found its fossils from Europe to China and south into Africa and in North America as well, showing that it was one of the most wide-ranging hyenas ever. Its teeth still handled meat and bone, but its skeleton tells the deeper story. This was an animal adapted to open habitats, where speed and endurance mattered as much as jaw power. Picture a herd of ancient horses streaking over a dry plain under a hard blue sky. One slips from the group. Across the grass comes Chasmoporthetes, not creeping like a cat, not swarming like a pack, but stretching into a fast, efficient chase. It fills a role that feels strangely modern, almost like a wolf, yet it belongs to a very different family. That is what makes it unforgettable. It reminds us that the Ice Age was full of experiments, and not all of them survived. As environments changed and other predators rose, the running hyena disappeared. But it left behind a thrilling image, a hyena that did not wait at the edge of a kill, but ran the old plains as if the wind itself had teeth.
If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button.
And don't forget to subscribe to this channel.
See you in the next one.